Hello everyone. So today we'll be learning how to add some very cool and very simple animation to our website. In order to add animation to our website, we'll be using the Animate Dot Css library. I'm going to open that up right now to show you guys this. This is the website for Animate Dot Css. It's a library for animation. It's a CSS library for animation. And we'll be learning how to implement this library into our website. So it makes it very easy and convenient for us to add very simple and basic and maybe cool animation. So in addition to learning how to add animation from this library, we'll also be learning how to add animation just by simple CSS code. And so uh, if you realize that there are some limitations to this library, then you can go ahead and code it on your own all the way through. And we'll go over that code and we'll see how to do that as well with CSS. The last thing we'll do is we'll add the CSS to our website, and I will show you what that website is. This is the website, and as you can see, this website right now is static. There is no animation. I just refresh the page and no animation comes up. So we'll learn how to add the animation directly to this website. And in order for us to test to see if our animation is working or not, we'll be using this website called JS Fiddle. And this is a very convenient and easy way to test your animations instead of trying to mess with your website directly. It's a good way to see, hey, is your code really working? If it's working, no, then we can go ahead and add it to the website. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, before I get started, this these two methods that I want to talk about today. So the first method is using the library, and the second one is without using the library. It's just that as a developer, it's always easy to not reinvent the wheel and just use something that's ready made. So we'll do that first. Okay. Here is the library's Animate.css. The link is will be available for you. Let's see what this website is all about. So once you go onto the website, now you can see some animation already comes up, and you can click on any of these animation on the sidebar. So I'm gonna click on something pretty much anything rubber band. Okay, so pulse, flash. Okay, so there are many options available here, and the one that I really like is the entrances. So entrance, but we want fading. Sliding entrances are actually very cool right now. Slick and modern, and a lot of websites are using sliding entrances. So we'll use this slide down entrance, which is this one. And so let's see how to implement this. The website directly tells us how to add the library to our website, and you could do the installation, but you don't have to do the installation. And the easiest way is to add the style sheet directly into your website. And so here we have this simple JS fiddle setup, and here it's a blank HTML template. It has the head section, which is right here. It's empty. There's nothing here. There's the body section. Here, the body section has some text. There's a title and some text. And I want to add the animation right here. And so the animation that I picked was the one for, for, for down, sliding down. And uh, since it's sliding down entrance, I need to create some space on the top. So I can create that space on the top just by adding these line break tags. This is one. I'll add another one, and I can run. Oh, so just to go over what this is all about, the JS Fiddle has the HTML side in which you can type in any of your HTML, all of your HTML stuff. There is also the JavaScript here, which is right here. And no, we're not going to be using any JavaScript, so I just pushed it to the bottom. You can resize just like this. You can resize, and I was able to resize the JavaScript and push it all the way to the bottom. And then the CSS goes here. So all three components of your website can go here, and then the results show up here. So we clicked on the run button, and then with the run button, we saw that the space was added on the top with the BR tags, which is line break tags. Now is the fun part. Now this is where we can easily add a simple animation to this blank HTML page. And so they're saying that, look, why don't you add this style sheet directly to your head tags on the blank page. So let's do that. This is the head section, and I just added that there. And now they even tell you how to do the basic usage, which is by adding this class. So there are two portions, two parts to the class. And I'm just gonna copy all of this right now and paste it here. And I'll also, and so now let's run to see if this animation is working or not. If we press the run button, we should see that this should be bouncing, animate bounce for this animation, for the title here, test your animation. So let's run this. Okay, so there is bouncing, which is working, and we know that everything's good. Now we want to add the part that says the slide down. Now that's that animation we want. We don't want the bounce. So how do we get that? How do we get the code for that? And the way to get the code for that is there is this small button here. It says copy class name to clipboard. So if you click on it, then you can copy the class name to the clipboard directly. And so I clicked on it and I copied it. Now I'm going to paste that in to my blank HTML page. And so animate the underscore slide in down. And so we should see that it should be sliding down, and it does. We'll add the same to the, we'll add the same animation to the bottom text here. So let's run this. Okay, so it's all working, and that's great. The animation is working now. We can implement this animation directly to our website. And so I'm gonna open up our website here. This is the website. Right now you can see there is no animation. Let's go to our I want to find where that is. It should be um, yeah, it should be this file. Okay, so in this file, let's add the let's add it here. The style sheet in the head tag. We can get that code again from the website, and so we're just gonna copy this part. Don't copy the head tags because we already have it. And let's paste that in. Okay. Okay, so let's now add our animation. The animation is here. I'm gonna take this animation portion, take the class. I just need the class because I don't need to copy everything, just the class. And now I'm gonna go and find where I need to add this. Okay, so here, this is what shows up right at the top. There's some text, and then the button on the bottom. And so let's add the animation to this whole thing. This column here we can add, and then we can also add it here. So let's see how it's working now. We saved it. Yeah, we saved it. Yeah, we saved it. Okay, so you have to make sure you save it, otherwise it's not gonna work. And I'm gonna go to the file. Okay, this is the file, and now you can see that this animation is working with this thing sliding down like that. Okay, so we know it's working. Next, what we'll do is we will now learn how to do animation without the library, right? Now, there are limitations with this library. You can only do certain things that they have on the sidebar. You know, anything that's out, like that's not listed here, you cannot do. So we can code our own animation with CSS, and if we code it on our own, then we have the flexibility to do whatever we need to do and whatever we want to do. And so let's just go over some of the basics of that animation. Just basic CSS animation. We will not be going into the complexities and any complexities. Just basic stuff and very easy stuff that is very easy to understand. And the website that I like for this is W3 Schools. They have the animation tutorial that I like, and I know we can use that to, for we can use that. So the way to do animation is here's an example. And to show how this example works, we can put it directly into our website and then go over what each of these items actually mean. So in this example, we're saying that, look, you have a box, and we want this box to animate. The box has a height, a width, and some properties here, and we want to do some animations to this box. So how can we do it? The way to do it is by using this syntax, this kind of a syntax in which you have, in this particular example, you have two options. It's saying that from a red color, you want to go to a yellow color. So from red to yellow, that's the animation. And so let's see how that looks. It's easy to be able to just see it. And so we will see it in action in our in JS Fiddle to see how that works in JS Fiddle. What I'll do is I can keep this animation. I don't need to remove it. But in the CSS portion, I can add that piece of code. For this code to work, I need to here they have created an element of div, and I like to keep things very clean and neat and stuff that's easy to understand. So I'm going to make this into a class of box. By adding this dot, you have created a class. And this class is called the box class. And we can add this into the HTML by adding the div tags. So if I do this, it makes a div for us, and then we add a class called box. Now, this CSS box, this box that the code for the box that we added in the CSS will now be connected to this element, and we called it the box. So we should see that box. Okay, so there it shows up. It shows the box is showing up, and this box is doing the same animation that we have coded here. The code says that, look, I want this box to go from red to yellow, and this is going from red to yellow. Actually, my computer screen, just realized that the computer screen needs to be, I'm going to disable this for an hour. Alright, the color on the computer screen was, I like to have the software for my eyes. It makes, it's less strenuous on your eyes. So it's a software. That's why the color looked different. Okay, so now let's see that again. We run it. We can see that it's going from red to yellow, that animation. And now let's look at the CSS code. Let's see what's happening here. What this all means, right? So the first thing is the box has a height and width. It's a square, 100 and 100. Now if I can make it 200, if I do the width, I made the width 200. I know it's gonna be different width, but I want to keep it a square. And so this is just making the box into a square, the height and width. The background color, we define it as red because it's starting as red, so we kept it as red. The next is animation name is example, and the reason we call it example is because the animation code name is example here, and we use the syntax at keyframes, and this syntax is the code for animation. And so by calling it example, then we're connecting this element to this animation code. That's how you connect it. Now, if you called it something else, example 2, no, it's not going to work. So if you run it, there's no animation happening because the name should be example. It's not example 2, it's just example. So we run it again. Now the animation is working. The animation duration is 4 seconds. You can make this into any amount that you want. You can make it to like 1 second, and it'll be really fast, or 2 seconds can be fast, 10 seconds can be really slow. But let's just make 1 second to show you that it's going really fast. Right, there you go. It went out really fast. Okay, the next thing that we have now to cover is other ways to do this kind of CSS based animation. Let's go to another example. This okay, this actually one question that everyone might have, or one question that you might have, is that look, here I'm only changing it from one color to from red to yellow. There's only 2 options that I have. What if I want more options? What if I want to do many things with this animation? I want it to maybe go from like a shade of like bright red into like slighter shades of red, or different colors. What if I want 3 colors, 4 colors? How can I do that? And that's why this example comes in to be useful. And here they're saying is instead of having the 2 options, now you have 4 options. So I'm gonna paste that in right away, just as is. And here the color is uh, here, because we have added these 4 options we're saying that look, it needs to hit all these 4 points at time at 0%, which is time 0, and then no, it's showing percentages. No, percentages is a good way to break it down. And with this percentages now, you can you can do all these 4 colors. And I'll change this back to 4 seconds because 1 second is too less of a time. And so let's run this now. Okay, so it's changing to all these colors. Okay, and now let's go over another example of this, a better example. And in this example, we have the box moving around. So I'm going to use this code to make the box move around. Paste it as is. So let's see what's going on in this code. This code is saying that I want the box to move around, and so to these 4 points. For the first thing is starting at position 0, 0, then it moves left 200 pixels, and then the top is 0, so it's just moving left. And then after that, it's moving, it's staying at the same position at the left 200 position, but the top is changed to 200. So it's actually gonna go down. This is right and down, and then down, and then oh, it's good to see it. Okay, what happened? Uh, okay, so what was missing is position relative. Is the code that was missing for it to work. Let's put that in there. Oh, position relative. Okay, so let's run it now. Okay, now you can see that the box is moving around, and so it starts at 0, 0. It says left 200 pixels. It's actually going right, and what that means is that what happens if you put right. And I mean, yeah, these are some ways to play around. What if you put right? What if you put bottom instead of top? You know, ways to play around with the code. But as you can see, that with this animation, you can have stuff move around, and it comes out to be very useful, um, especially for making adding more complex animation. One thing to look at is this example in which we added that animation. We were saying that look, everything's coming down here. Everything comes down. But what if I want two different steps? I want this thing to come down first, and then I want this thing to do something else. That's not possible with our library, and so um, with with this um, with this animation, with pure CSS animation, we can do different things. And so I added some code for this. Okay, so let's say that I wanted this thing to, let's say if I wanted this thing to come down first as it is, and then this thing to do something else. I wanted, let's say, like it appears after a few seconds. Can I do that? So entrance appear, zoom entrance. I need fade entrance, fading exit, fading entrance, fade in, fade in. Okay. Um, okay, so let's see if I can, what happens when I put this in to the code. Instead of code sliding down, do fade in down, and then this one, let's do fade in down. And the other good thing here is that it allows you to add some delays, default delay time. There's also, all right, let's see what happens if you add some delay. I added some delay here. I'll do 1 second delay and save it. See what happens. Okay, it's fading. Oh, so there's something better going on here, which might look even better. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call it um, I'm gonna call it out for this lesson. We covered a whole bunch of things. Just to summarize, what we learned was doing animations the easy way with the CSS library called Animate Dot Css. We also learned how to do animations with pure CSS. The code is available on the W3 Schools. You can check out more examples on the website. We tested our code on JS Fiddle. It's a nice way to test out simple code instead of having to look at a whole lot of lines of code of some website that um, that has a bunch of other things and we're not able to concentrate on the stuff that we were learning. So this is like a nice way to go about the learning process. Okay, that's uh, actually before we leave, let's just look at how other websites do their animation. So I wanted let's see how Apple does it. I have it open. There's that the website for Apple. The animation that they're using is okay. I just refreshed the page for animation to show up. Okay, there's some animation going on here. There is this animation. This is sliding up animation. This is appearing up animation. Also another slide animation. So slide animation is and then this appearance animation is pretty popular. Um, and the animation, the thing with animation has changed a lot, and we need to keep in mind that you don't add too much animation to your website, or it's gonna not look modern and slick and professional. We want to keep our animations minimal and then just copy the animation that other websites are doing. So for example, this Apple website is doing the animation with slides, sliding in, sliding up, and there's a peer, the text appears. So that's the trend right now, so we should follow the trend. And I also have some animations from back in the 90s, and that was I mean it's just nice. I mean it's uh, I think I'm gonna just show it to you guys here, the 90s animation, and something that is something not to do, because no, that's not the trend anymore. Before, in the past, in the 90s, then there was too much animation going on. Okay, so let's see some animation. Okay, so here's one really old website. You can see that they did this animation type of thing was popular back in the 90s. Let's look at another, and then there's this animation coming up here. There's animation on this Space Jam website with this thing rotating. You can see that I guess that's pretty much it for old school animation. We're gonna end it here now. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. And if you have any questions, comment, send me a comment on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer that question. Okay, bye. Thank you.